I see people coming on.
Hmm.
Hello, everybody. We'll just
Hello,
give a
everyone.
second here. Say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. Look at all these people.
Oh yeah, everyone's everyone's rolling in now.
Yeah, let us know if you're where you are, if you're in Canada, the US, somewhere else around the world.
Vancouver.
Oh, nice. If you're at a studio, let us know. It's very cool. We'll give it a few minutes for everyone to come in here.
Oh, someone from Winnipeg.
Oh, even Winnipeg, Chicago. Lots of Canadians in the house here.
Hmm.
Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. We'll give it a couple minutes for everyone to come in here. Lots of people. This is great. Are you nervous, Daryl? Are you good? You feel good?
I'm strangely not nervous. I thought I would be more nervous, but I don't know.
We're just gonna have fun. We're gonna have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Cool. Lots of people from Winnipeg coming in. Nice to see everybody. Hello, hello. Everyone's in for a treat today to see some amazing high school animation. I can't believe it.
I'm super excited to watch the documentary too.
Me too. Mr. Dubois, how you doing? Nice to hear from you. High school teacher from 2004.
I see one of my teachers too, Madame Reimer. Oh, I'm so glad she's able to make it.
Who's that?
Madame Reimer, she helped me get into the CREATE program actually, so I'm really glad she's here.
Yeah, shout out to teachers from New Brunswick. Nice. That's great. Over 120 people right now. We'll give it a few more minutes. Watching people come in. Let us know if you haven't already. Let us know where you're coming from. If you're working the studios, if you're just here to hang out, let us know. Of course, we got Carson there from Nickelodeon. Ottawa. Cool, this is great. This is, look how many people are coming. I thought it was just going to be all of our families, but look how many people came. It's great. I think with that,
All right.
someone is here to watch their niece. Nice, nice. Very cool. Well, Daryl, what do you think? Should we get started?
I think we should.
Let's go for it then. So, welcome everybody. Welcome. Daryl and I are super happy to co-host right now. So, welcome to the Orange Tree Project Student Showcase. This is presented by Rise Up Animation, which I'm very happy to be here and represent for. My name is Trent Corey. A quick little blurb about me. I grew up in Ottawa, Canada, which is actually where I met the Jamie Leduc, Mr. Leduc, who I still call Mr. Leduc, who taught me a Comtech class, very similar to what he teaches at Sisler in high school back in 2004, 2005, which kind of guided me towards animation. Now, 15 years later, I'm working at Disney as an animator and a director on films like Frozen, Zootopia, and Moana, and most recently directing projects for Disney Plus, like Once Upon a Snowman. And I'm so delighted to be here and just honored that Sisler and Nickelodeon kind of put us all together. Because for me, it's really full circle to showcase what I believe is the future of our industry. Dairyl, her classmate, Sisler, high school, amazing talent for high school level. And of course, to co-host with my good friend, Dairyl. We go way back, like a couple weeks back. But
Yeah.
yeah, how's it going, Dairyl?
I'm great. Hello, everyone. My name is Dairyl Mabunga. I'm a student at Sisler High School's CREATE program from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So today we're going to be screening 3 animated shorts by CREATE students as a part of the Orange Tree Project, which is a mentorship initiative with Nickelodeon. So a little bit about me. Until this year, I'd never been a part of a project this big before. So I got a chance to work with an amazing team, and I'm really grateful that our mentors guided us throughout this project. Their support meant a lot, and I could not be happier to help host this showcase and get our program's work in front of an international audience. So you'll learn more about the project in a short documentary that we'll screen later. But before I continue, I'd just like to acknowledge that our school is located on Treaty 1 territory on the ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation.
Thanks, Daryl. And like you said, yeah, international audience. This is amazing seeing where everyone's from in the chat. So just a couple quick reminders. This showcase is being recorded and streamed online. If you participate in the Q&A at the end of the event, please be advised that your image and voice will be recorded and broadcasted. This showcase is a celebration, like Daryl said, of the incredible talent and hard work of diverse rising talent in the animation industry. It's an amazing opportunity that would not be possible without the support of our partners and supporters. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in today, wherever you are, time zone wise around the world. Thank you for being here and checking out this amazing showcase. I'd also like to thank Monica Lago Cadis, Bobby Pontius, and everyone from Rise Up Animation for hosting this showcase. Rise Up Animation is a movement to provide and support BIPOC animation artists with the goal of helping diverse talent rise up in the animation industry. And we're just delighted to be partnered with Sisler today. And a special thank you as well to Nickelodeon Animation and the Nick Community Efforts, including Carson Smith, who connected this whole thing together, and mentors Mark Galez, Kyle Marshall, Jessica Borutski, and Kat Bondoc.
I'd also like to thank all the supporters of the CREATE program, including the Winnipeg School Division, the Province of Manitoba, Toon Boom, Wacom, the Schroeder Foundation, and the staff and administration at Sisler High School. Thank you as well to the family and friends of our students who support us every day.
Yes, well said, Daryl. Okay, and perhaps our biggest thanks, although I just said that, but more and more thanks to all those goes out to everyone that initiated this project, supervised these students, and kept them motivated, all while negotiating a global pandemic, remote learning, and everything that came with it. It's just going off script for a second here. It's amazing to see what the students did and how they kept themselves and each other motivated during it. It's very special that everyone kind of completed this during a pandemic. That layer is just amazing. So with a full heart, we'd like to thank Mr. Jamie Leduc, amazing Mr. Leduc, head of the CREATE program at Sisler, and teachers Bernard Ali Budbud, Marcus Fowler, John Dick Lyons, Jenny Collins, and Jeff Peeler. And we'd like to begin by hearing from the Orange Tree Project mentors. So these artists from Nickelodeon, amazing artists, have been working with the Sisler CREATE students throughout the school year, offering feedback on their work and helping the students develop their skills. So with that, we're gonna watch a quick video and hear what they have to say. Let's kick off the video and we'll be back after that.
Why is mentorship important? That's a good question. For me, I feel like it's guiding those that are lost, right? And the path of becoming an artist, you know, there's a lot of fears and insecurities that will come along the way, and sometimes that stuff will hold you back. The job of a mentor is to help bring out the potential within someone when they don't see it themselves, right? And so to be able to ask someone that has experience advice, that is very valuable. You know, whatever answer that they give you is something that you're going to carry on forward within your journey. And, you know, eventually you're going to find yourself giving that back. And the cycle continues from there, you know, and that's the best part about mentoring.
Hello, my name is Jessica Borutski, and I am a supervising director at Nickelodeon Animation. I think it's important to mentor because you get to a point in your career where you build up all of this knowledge and information that I think after someone like me, who I've achieved a few goals, like I've produced a show, I've directed, and I feel like I've really achieved some dreams of mine. And with that knowledge, I would love to share with other people and younger people coming up. And I think the great thing about connecting with the students at Sisler is that I actually got really inspired by them, and I didn't even see that coming, which was really cool. Just seeing that excitement of just beginning their animation experiences reminded me of how exciting that was and kind of refueled my passion again. So I think that's really nice to be able to give each other something really valuable. Yeah, it's just been a really cool process watching them learn and trying to, give them all the information and knowledge that I can to guide them on their short films. So it's been a really awesome experience for me.
I'm Kyle Marshall, the co-executive producer of Nickelodeon's The Loud House. As a mentor, I feel it's really important to give back to the next crop of animation talent. I've been really fortunate in my career to have a number of mentors help guide me through the industry. It's not only just the tricks of the trade that maybe you didn't learn in school, but also just having someone there to support you, to give you that confidence you need, that's been there and knows how tough it is when you first start out in your career. Also, another bonus of mentoring is that the energy and the passion that the students bring, it gives that little shot that us grizzled old vets need. It's just so cool to see how much energy they have and the new ideas, and it inspires you as an artist to try new things, and just gives you a new energy that we need. And then lastly, and probably the coolest thing, is just how much fun it is to see the students grow and progress. With Orange Tree, we started out with these kids that had never really made films together before, and not only did they learn how to storyboard, to do a walk cycle, to color a background, but they learned how to basically build an entire pipeline and to create a story from scratch and to finish it all throughout a school year. And to be a part of that and to see that growth, it's just really cool. It's just a fun thing to be a part of. And so yeah, I'm proud and happy to be a mentor. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Kat Bondoc, and I am a line producer at Nickelodeon. To me, one of the best crews is one built off of being safe, being seen and being heard, and people being there to help each other, not only make an amazing show or movie, but to help each other grow, not only in their careers, but as a person. And I feel like mentoring is such a big part of that. And it's so great that there are programs that exist, I know at Nickelodeon or at other studios as well, because you're connecting people who have done this before, who have been in your shoes, and you get to help those who are just starting out. And it's great because I was very fortunate to have worked with people who will answer my questions. And this is that opportunity to ask the questions, to bring up any concerns or worries, and have your mentor guide you through that. And I know I always love getting that special attention, and you get to work one-on-one or one to a group with someone, and you get to help guide them and eventually let them spread their wings and fly. And for me personally, I have been so inspired by the mentees. It's crazy to see. It's almost like going back to our past of, oh wow, we used to be this way when we didn't know what we were doing, or we were so excited about things. And honestly, that has brought up my excitement again about the business, but also about just connecting and getting to know more people, to keep asking questions and to keep growing and learning. And it's been really great to be a part of this, not only I'm sure for the mentees, but as a mentor. And I know it makes me want to do better at my job, and it makes me want to be just always be there for people and provide that space, like I keep saying, for the questions, for the answers, and just making sure that everyone is able to share their voice, and I can help guide them, or we can help guide them, and just continue to make great things and hang out with really cool people.
Amazing.
All right. Oh, that was a lovely video. That was my first time seeing that one.
Me too.
All right, cool. So next up, we are going to watch a short documentary on the Orange Tree Project by Sisler Create student Jed Orliano. Jed is a film student who has been documenting this project since the very beginning. So let's check it out. This is one of the coolest things I've ever done. It was not even in my range of ideas that would happen this year.
So moving forward, guys, what it's going to look like is this. So rather than doing one big production, we are going to do 3 productions.
People were excited. We couldn't stop talking about it after. I remember it being so hype. Everyone was like, we're so excited to start this off. And then
a group of Winnipeg students are working with a major American studio. The students are being mentored by industry professionals at Nickelodeon.
So these are students at Sisler High School, part of the Orange Tree Project.
It's really nice seeing all these different personalities, and as time went, I realized how well we all worked together.
For the longest time, I've always been alone for my projects. It's been solo, and I've never had the opportunity to be in such a big group. So I was so excited to meet my teammates, because sometimes group projects can be stressful, but I had a good feeling about this one.
So in the beginning, we got split into 3 big groups, and then we got split into multiple subgroups, which is where I think the story phase really started.
Those were kind of like the bonding moments for the team. That's where we got to know each other more. And of course, every time we create stories, you're putting a piece of yourself in it. For the people in the Eclipse subgroup, we were like, yeah, I have a sibling, and my sibling kind of annoys me sometimes, and we just kind of based it off of that. It was like, yo, how does your sibling annoy you?
One of our best phases was probably the story phase, because that's when we talked the most. Neither of our subgroup stories got picked. Kyle had said that he liked aspects of both of them. So we had to reconvene after and kind of just figure out, okay, what are we going to do?
With Ethan's Rough, we were able to picture something that we could pitch, and that was actually a good working story already.
Beatboard stage, we each did our own beatboards of the story first on how we perceived and wanted to express the story. I remember some story elements that were made. Unfortunately, we had to cut some stuff down.
There were things that were unnecessary. It would make it too long. Had too much fluff in between important scenes.
Animation, that's when it got really stress, and we'd get in calls and just work and chill and stuff.
I developed really strong connections with the rest of my team because of how often we'd be in work calls.
When it was just animating or trying to get that done, I had no motivation. I was like, let me have freedom. I want to do my own thing, but you have to get it done. I felt like everybody was feeling that. Seeing everyone just encourage each other, that gave me wholesome vibes.
When we had a month left, I had the biggest fear that we were behind, but according to the mentors, they said we were just on track. At least I felt like we were behind, because looking at Clementine Monarch Martians, they had more rough animations done, they had scenes cleaned up and everything when we were kind of just starting that phase. But we weren't behind at all. It just felt like it because the other teams were working faster. But I'm glad that we went with a slower pace, because it wasn't as stressful, at least coming towards the end.
I'm really sad that the project is ending soon, but I'm really happy with what our team managed to make in only a few months.
We've worked so hard for this, and our story has gone through so many changes, and it resulted in something better than we could have expected.
I found some pretty incredible and talented, passionate people that I could work along with.
Sometimes we'd joke around or share some things we liked. We kind of got to know each other that way. We started hanging out a little more in voice chat and calls and stuff.
A year ago, I never would have thought I'd be a part of a project like this, and it's just amazing. Like, I'm just really grateful that we have all these people behind us and supporting us.
The mentors from Nick and Rise Up Animation, Toon Boom, Wacom.
I can't even process like the emotion that was put into these films. There was just so much things that happened and a lot of lessons that were learned.
We have put so much passion and love into these short films, and it shows when you guys watch it.
I can't wait for everyone to see them.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. Huge
My first time
congratulations to
seeing that.
Jed.
Yeah, way to go, Jed. And Dairyl, you're a star. You're in it everywhere.
Oh,
man. So cool. That was amazing to see. And now we're gonna see the films now, which is awesome. We're gonna hear a little bit from the team, the mentors, and a brief introduction of the project. So first up, you can see on camera here is Clementine Animations, who will present their film Eclipse. We're gonna hear today from Nickelodeon mentor Jessica Borutski, producer Kat Bondoc, and then the team lead Jemimah Suba. So thank you all for being here. It's amazing. I got to tell one quick story about Jessica because we grew up close to each other, and I went to college a couple years after her. She graduated before me, and the college had a kind of hall of fame. It was just one little hallway. It only had one picture. It was just Jessica up there. A hall of fame, just one picture, and I was like, I want to get up there one day with Jessica. But she's legendary. So thank you everybody for being here. I don't know if you know that, Jessica, but
no, I didn't know it was the only picture.
Only picture. It's like a weird shrine, but it's great. It's great.
Shrine.
So I'm so excited to see your film, and I'm blown away by that documentary, knowing that high school students know what pitching is like and script writing and beat boards. I mean, those are things we don't learn till college or even after college for animation. So just amazing. Jessica, I want to hear first. This is an amazing mentorship opportunity for you too. What was your experience? What did you take away from mentoring these high school students? And what kind of words of wisdom do you have as they continue their journeys?
Yeah, I think for me, it was like we kind of covered in our videos, but I'll kind of reword it again. It's just I literally forgot that feeling of being in high school and just not knowing what was out there. I mean, it's a little different for me. I was in a small town in Ottawa, Canada, and there wasn't a program like this. I mean, the first experiences I got was an art teacher introduced me to a scholarship that got me into Algonquin College. But just seeing the excitement, it like refueled me, made me realize like, wow, this is really exciting. Because when you've been in it for like over a decade and a bit, you just start to get used to it. And it really fueled me just to see their excitement and to see them learning, and their questions were so amazing. And it was a really cool experience for me to help out with their amazing short. So I was very honored to be a part of it.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And I got to ask you too, Jemimah, how did you and the team manage during quarantine? And let me know your favorite memories with your friends, Jessica and Kat, all over Zoom, of course.
My camera is not working.
All good.
Apologies. It just shut off.
We can still hear you though. Don't worry, Jemimah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay. So during quarantine was, of course, a surprise to everybody. In the beginning, we were kind of wondering, oh, this is going to be quite a tough thing to go through, because we as the post-highs kind of knew what it was like to work inside the Sisler Create building, and a lot of things were definitely hands-on, especially when it came to the beat boards. The beat boards were all done on paper, and then we just put them all on one big wall and then pick apart which ones we like and don't like. So a lot of things were kind of in the fog until we actually got into it, and then we used a lot of things like Discord and Google Drive organization and communication was incredibly important to us. We tried our very best during quarantine to make it as close to our old workspace as possible from the comfort of our home. Although it was incredibly different, people weren't physically beside us to kind of like peek and all that. It was still pretty similar, just getting into calls, sharing our screens, being like, like trying to make it like a classroom, like, hey, how was your day? It's not all about work when we are working and also just chatting at the same time. I think one of my favorite memories was, or I guess it's like a long-term memory, but like it's getting to know my team members and watching them learn and grow. I was really honored to be the team lead for my team members. And I'm so happy that I got to watch them grow from like what they were to what they are now, and see them pick up new tricks and learn new things every day, basically. That's one of my favorite memories that I will never forget. And so much of the team members that I was with continue to inspire me till this day. And working with Jess and Kat, guys, thank you so much. Like, you guys have no idea how much of an impact you guys had on our film. Every time we'd get stumped and we'd have our little mentor meetings in the end of the month, the 25th, we'd always be like, oh, like, I can't wait to hear what they're gonna say, or like what they have to add on, because like we're not too sure about this. And then once we got that kind of professional like opinion or professional feedback, where we just like got back on track, and from when we were lost, we were back on the road. And we can't thank you guys enough. And Jess, you gave us so much awesome animation help, and Kat, you helped us organize helped us like get our entire organization set up. So it's like super awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough for helping us through this project.
Well said, Jemimah, well said.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And I love what you said about the memory, because I think Jessica and Kat can, and all the mentors would agree that it doesn't matter what project you work on in the future in your career, it's always the team that you remember. It's always the team that stands out, and those memories. So
yeah,
really well said. With that, Jessica, Jemimah, Kat, would you like to kick off the screening of Eclipse and introduce it?
Yeah, let's do it, guys.
Yeah. So this is Eclipse, made by Team Clementine. There are a total of 14 people in our short, working in our short, and our short runs from 5 minutes and 33 seconds. And originally it was composed and written by all females, and then a lot of more people came and joined in our group, which was amazing, and it was awesome working with everybody. So I hope you guys enjoy our short. Hit it, Jamie.
Dang, you've been working on this for so long. Well, I need this to be perfect. Oh, here, let me help.
Son, stop! What are you doing? This is my project!
Aw, come on. I just think you should add some of this.
Stop!
Trust me, if you let me do this, it'll be an easy win.
I can win this contest myself. I don't need your help.
Why not? I always did super well in this fair.
Son, let go!
Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
Look what you did!
Moon, I'm sorry.
This was my one chance to prove myself and you ruined it! What are you even doing here? Are you trying to win another trophy? Do you think I'm not smart enough to do this by myself? Just leave me alone! Gross, 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 gross! Son, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Look, calm down. You literally saved me. Now we have some time and maybe there's something in here we can use. Besides, I was overstepping earlier, so it's my fault too. Hey, why don't we try doing a burst spell? Oh, like an eclipse spell? Actually, never mind. I don't think... Nah, don't worry, Moon. You're super smart and strong. Together, we can do this. Moon, we did it! You were so cool back there jumping in. Wait, so what are you going to do about the contest? I think I'll figure something out.
Well, that was amazing.
Thank you so much, Trent. All right, so next up we have Team Monarch Martians with their film Ikaw Muna. First, we'll hear from their mentor, Kyle Marshall, and then we'll hear from their team lead, Naya Langit, who will talk more about the film. All right, so Kyle, you're up first. What was the importance of learning to work on group projects, and how does that transfer to working creatively at Nickelodeon on a show like The Loud House?
I think especially for large scale productions, whether it be TV or film, it takes a village. There's so many people that are part of it that learning how basically how to work together, how to be a team player, and how every part, every department, every artist and production person on the show, how they all fit together and how one job affects the other. It's pretty important. And also probably the biggest thing too is the learning to collaborate and respect each other, because there's so many people and we all think we're artists, we all think we're creative and our ideas are great. It's really important to learn to respect each other, and
for sure.
especially when if you're in a storyboard pitch or something, there's so many ideas flying around. But also too, in design, color, there's a number of people with ideas of what they want something to look like. So it's really important to just learn how to respect each other and take the different opinions and ideas that people have and how to make the best, bring out the best idea from that. So it's just amazing that in high school, with this project, being able to learn that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you, Kyle. All right, so Naya, it's such a group effort to create a project like this. Can you talk about your favorite collaborative moments and how you finished such an ambitious project, mostly from home?
Yeah, for sure. I think I have two memories, favorite collaborative memories. The first, you can kind of see in the documentary, actually. It was during the animatic phase, actually, when the three animatic editors, we actually met up at school to just make some edits, and a few of our other members actually showed up as well. So we actually got to sit together in a room and work together without being behind a screen, which was really nice. And the second was probably when we took group pictures. I think we were the only team who were able to take group pictures in our Orange Tree Project shirts. And that was the first time I had met a lot of my members. So it was really nice meeting them in person, because I had known a few of them before. However, I didn't know what they looked like, because a lot of the time we didn't use cameras in our calls, since some people, we didn't want to pressure anyone into doing that. So yeah, as for creating the short, mostly from home, I'd say it took a lot of organization and communication to get it done. But I also think that it was mostly all of our passion to get the short done and to see the end of the short, because we really wanted to finish this as a team. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for answering these questions. And with that, let's check out Ika Muna. Hit it, Jamie.
Maya, anak, watch Enrico, please.
Auntie, look, watch this. Oh. Huh? Auntie, help. The wall is gone.
Ugh. There. I'm not getting it. You do it yourself. Now. Maybe you'll disappear and my problems along with you.
Oh.
What?
Ah!
Sorry po.
Huh?
Ow! Genius!
Ooh.
Oh, Enrico. Thank you. Huh?
Ate, I wonder what's for dinner.
I don't know, but I hope it's not chicken.
That was so cool. That was so cool. And
That was
lots-
so fun.
Yeah, it was lots of cool messages in the chat too. Check that out. And Naya, I completely agree with what you said. It's an amazing accomplishment just to finish a short film in general, whether you're in the industry or not. And the fact that you all did this in high school, I'm still blown away at that. So thank you. That was amazing. So next up, our final film, I'm really excited for this, is called Grim Companion. It's created by Yam Jam Animations. And we're going to hear from the folks who see on the screen here, Mark Galez, Kat Bondoc, and followed by their team lead, Gab Reyes. So please join us. Hey, everybody. And I'll just kick it off with a question here. And Mark, I totally forgot to ask you about this before, but I researched you. I interneted you. Yeah, I did. I read that you used to be at Blue Sky Studios in a training program.
Yeah.
And I know they have a great training program there where they give you a mentor. Can you talk about the importance of mentorship, how it's helped your career, and how you're kind of choosing to pay it forward now?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, it's like I was saying in the video, like being able to have a mentor on your path of becoming an artist, like, I mean, that helps you so much along the way, you know, because dedicating yourself to a craft is already hard within itself, you know, and that goes for like anything, like being a chef or, you know, being a construction person. But like when you're becoming an artist, you need the guidance of another person to see where you can, like what could be, you know, you need to see what's possible. And for someone that has experience to tell you the mistakes that they've made along the way, it kind of reassures you that like these people that have achieved so much, they are human, you know, they make mistakes, and it's okay for you to allow yourself to make those mistakes. And the big thing for me too, that like why I want to get into mentoring is just also to see, growing up, I didn't see a Filipino like cartoonist, or like I didn't see that kind of person getting into the field. And so I really wanted to kind of show that like, hey, it's possible, whether, you know, you could be anybody, but to kind of show that like, hey, I'm a Filipino dude drawing cartoons, like it's possible, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, actually I wanted to pass it over to Kat. I wanted her to kind of speak on some stuff too. So what are your thoughts, Kat?
I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying, and being Filipino too, on that female Filipino perspective, it's great to show people out there that it's possible for anyone. And I'm really glad that you touched on that. And I Like, it's so true. You're showing everyone, like, I've been there before, and it's so scary at the beginning, because I know when I first started, I had so many questions and I was asking everyone, but I felt really bad about asking it. So I'm really glad that mentorship programs exist, because I feel that this is that time to ask those questions, and you get to be very specific or vague, whatever you want. And I think this is that time to learn. And I think all of us said it in our videos, but we're learning too. I mean, I know it's making me a better leader, a better line producer, because I'm seeing everyone's perspective. And I think that's such a great thing about, one, being in a big team, or being in a team in general, but also being a mentor. And it's really cool.
It's no, that's amazing. Thank you both for speaking on that, because I mean, you're such both amazing role models, and visibility is so important. So thank you for doing that. It's amazing. So with that, Gab, I want to ask you too. It's like I mentioned, it's just such an accomplishment to finish any short film. And I'm just curious, are you or your teammates planning future projects? Did this film motivate you to continue pursuing animation? I mean, I just think doing a group project in general, whether you choose to pursue animation or something else, is just such a great learning experience. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. That's a pretty big question, at least for me. At least for Team Yam Jam, only time will tell if we're gonna make another short film in the future, because a lot of us are still students, we still have things to study. But don't be surprised if you see another short film made by Yam Jam Animation someday. We don't know when, but someday perhaps. And yeah, like just being part of the Orange Tree Project is just insane. Like it not only was very motivating, inspiring to me, to pursue doing storytelling as a career through art, but also just for the rest of the team and everyone else who just took part in the Orange Tree Project. Like, I can already say that a handful of us will be continuing our education in the Vancouver Film School. Others have already been hired, which is insane in my opinion. And people, like, it's just really hard not to be motivated after all of this, because you meet so many great people, like you learn from mistakes, you get all this critique and advice, and you just grow, not just as an artist, but also just as a person. And that's what makes it so awesome to me.
That's so cool. And your opinion is right. It is insane. It's crazy that that people have been hired already, and Vancouver Film School. And I feel like Yam Jam's already sounds like a studio name. So you might as well, when you all finish in school, you all get together and make a Grim Companion sequel, or keep it going. So with that, does anyone want to introduce the film before we get started here? Yeah, Mark, any words?
Go for it, Gab.
Well, Grim Companion. Hit it, Leduc.
Roll it.
Hit it. Technical difficulties. I feel like there's more to the film, so bear with us, please.
Sorry about that, Trent. A little technical difficulty. Hold on.
It's a cool artistic choice to end it like that. It's okay. We'll get it going. Dairyl, how are you? You having a good time?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Trent. How are you?
I'm having so much fun. It's just amazing. It's amazing. I took an animation course like this in 2005 with Mr. Leduc, and gosh, it's gotten 100 times better since then. Okay, bye everybody.
Here we go. Bye everyone.
My gosh. Dairyl, are you crying? I'm totally
Oh,
crying.
that was such a sweet story. Just amazing.
I know. I'm glad the credits were long enough that everyone has time to wipe away tears before this Q&A.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So what do you think, Dairyl? What's next?
We actually have a little short animation from Ikaw Muna that didn't get played. So let's just check that out real quick.
Cool. Let's do it.
Watch Enrico, please.
That was really quick.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm sure it'll be sorted shortly.
Great. I mean, you did say quick. You let us know.
It's a little longer than that, I think, Trent.
Hey, animation's hard, okay? That's how long it takes. It probably took a week to do that. We all know. We all know how long it takes.
Oh, that was the short. Okay. Right, Mr. Leduc, that was all of it. Oh, you're muted, Mr. Leduc.
I'm not going to be able to scrub back to it the way that it's embedded in. Yeah, I apologize. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I got it locked in my memory. That was awesome. It was awesome. Nice job.
All right, and
You're
with
welcome.
that, just a huge congratulations to all the Sisler Create teams. So much time and effort went into these projects this year. Thank you again to our mentors, Jessica, Kyle, Mark, and Kat. You guys have made this school year incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just going to reiterate too that that the creation of these, the completion, the qualities of these films is such a miracle in itself. Again, in a year filled with pandemic anxiety, remote learning changes, lockdowns, isolation, somehow these students forge ahead and to create something really beautiful. And honestly, when so many people I was watching Friends and Office and Parks and Rec for the 20th time, you guys just took time to create these beautiful animations. So amazing work. And in addition to being a showcase of all their work, this event is also a celebration of their incredible resilience. So congratulations, you should all be incredibly proud.
I want to try one more time. I'm gonna be resilient here. I'm gonna try it one more time.
All right, let's check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna try it right now. Hold on.
You can do it.
There it is. Oh. Diving, whoa.
Oh, that was adorable.
So cool.
Yep.
Worth the wait. That was amazing.
Yeah, he's that's so sweet. He's more mindful now and just being careful.
So cute.
All right.
Do Q&A now, Trent. What you can do? What do you do?
Yeah, let's do Q&A. So before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that this is being recorded. And by asking a question, you are consenting to having your image and voice broadcast as part of the online stream of the show. So we have all of our mentors, team leads, producers, everyone here. Let's start the Q&A. If you have a question, let us know. Put it in the chat. Is that right, Monica?
Yeah, go ahead and put it in the chat. And then, or just raise your hand and Bobby Pontius will promote you and you can come on camera and ask a question or comment.
Yeah, and while we wait, to the leads, the mentors, how was that? Watching all the films after so much hard work, it must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I still can't believe like high school students made those shorts.
No.
I didn't make anything like that till my 20s, so it's pretty fantastic.
Jessica, it's so true. Can you talk, like, because I know you've done short films in the past. It's so hard, even like when you leave college, to even make a short film on your own time. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, most of it is like, I mean, I'm sure all the students know is time management, you know? You got to dedicate hours and hours. I used to just dedicate every second night of the week to just concentrating on the film after work and somehow got a short film done. But mine was a bit shorter. But
yeah, these are ambitious.
The documentary was amazing.
Oh yeah,
it was like so
amazing
cool to kind of relive all of that. I was like, wow.
It was so moving. Like I swear, I feel like an emotional basket case watching all of it.
I'm really glad you can hear your video because the tears.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness, so inspiring. It was amazing. And yeah, like I was not doing this at all in high school. Even in college, I was like, can you work on my film back in the day? Like, this is not that level.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, I feel like high school, I didn't complete anything, like, let alone a short film, but just in general, a test or anything.
That's what I was going to say is the fact that they finished it full color, everything. Like, that's like, I mean.
Yeah, most college films don't get done that way. How many? Yeah, amazing.
Should be very proud.
So we have a question. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
We have a question from Isabel. Isabel, do you want to unmute or start?
Bobby, how dare you interrupt this with a question for the Q&A?
You just want to talk.
Come on, Isabel.
Sorry, my audio and camera are not working right now. I'm not sure why, but she asks, what was the most challenging but rewarding aspect of the whole process? Of filmmaking.
Anyone? Come on.
I can pitch in for that question. Yeah. So, being the team lead of Yam Jam Animations, there were a lot of challenging parts of creating the short film, and I think one of them is just getting to know the team, especially like we did practically like 99.9% of it remotely online. It was really hard to like get to know people, see their faces, but obviously with time we get to grow more comfortable with each other, and I guess that leads to another challenge that we've run into, and that's just like knowing what people want to do. You know, like you don't want to give someone too little things to do. You don't want it to split evenly, and at the same time you want them to be comfortable and happy with what they're doing as well. So it's all about just like getting to know the teams mostly, the members, and just making sure everyone's having a good time at the end of the day. Yeah.
I just want to add to that. It's amazing that you're already learning that now, because that is such a big part of the jobs in the studios. Like I'm always telling our production team, you know, you have to get to know the people you're working with, know them on an individual level and as a group, because everyone's going to like different things. Everyone's going to be able to handle different things. And that's where the team comes together to really play on their strengths, support the weaknesses. And it's so crazy. You're in high school, you've just graduated. It's amazing.
I was going to say the same thing. So you took it. Yeah, I'm like, great. The fact that you get that already, you're a step ahead.
A challenge for me, like mentoring Yam Jam, it's just like, because these kids had like, they had 3 stories that they wanted to tell, and then it was like managing how, like, what are they trying to say with the story, but then I don't want to come in and like micromanage, you know, like creating enough of a sandbox for everyone to play in, but at least to give them a clear direction, like this is the goal that you guys are trying to achieve, and communicating that with the team too. Like we would like offline and chat and message each other like, oh, is this what you're trying to do with the story? What are you guys trying to say? And then the fact that they want to do everything, no dialogue, and just have it all music driven, you know, I felt like they already had such a good idea to begin with. And it's just like, how do I keep bringing that out and not like, you know, I don't want to like squish an idea, but I want to like, you know, amplify it even more or make it clearer. So it was a lot of communication, like even from my end too, because I don't want to lead them down the wrong path as a mentor. So yeah, that was like something to kind of like a tight line to balance.
Right.
What a great experience for them, because it's such a studio environment of having multiple ideas and having to keep your eye on the end goal and making sure there's a vision for the short. So it's amazing.
Right.
How are we doing for more questions, Bobby?
So we have Roseanne Howell, who's on the call now. Hi, Roseanne. Do you want to ask your question? You're like a radio DJ. I don't know why.
Hello.
Bobby, you're great.
Well done. It's so amazing to see all this and just not know about it before coming in and just finding this present with all your guys' hard work. My question is, did you have any other schoolwork that you were responsible for while you were making these? Yeah, it looks like the answer is yes. How did you manage all of that?
Roseanne, I wondered that same thing when I was watching it. Like, amazing.
Yeah, you want to jump in on that one?
I can hop in to
Yeah.
answer that real quick. I think for the majority of us, it was a lot of time management. So we had to set aside time for the short and then time for our other work that we wanted to do. So yeah, it was just being mindful of what we need to get done and also being organized on top of that.
That's amazing, because when I took Mr. Leduc's class in high school, I just basically failed all my other courses to spend all of my time on that one. So the fact that you all kept that up, amazing. That's a good question, Roseanne. What about any of the other students?
And people are going to believe you. Tell them the truth, it was D's, right?
D's, like D minus. 50. I'd be happy with a 57. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for.
And so next question, we have Paolo Oriano. Do you want to ask your question, sir? If you are there, maybe not. We can go on to the next one, come back to Paolo. So Marie, hey.
Hi.
Did you want to ask your question, Marie?
Absolutely.
Hello.
Well, first of all, congratulations really to everyone. It's just so fantastic. We've been following the evolution of the project since November, and just to see where it's at today, it blows my mind. It makes me so proud to be at Toon Boom Animation, creating the software to support this great creativity. It blows my mind. It's like, okay, I'm in the right place in life, so I can support all these great minds. But my question actually was that you had to learn all the animation principles, drawing and all that, and like storytelling, but you also had to learn the tools and the software at the same time, and probably not just Harmony, but like other tools as well. And how was it to have to learn the technology and artistic side all at the same time?
I think I could. Oh, hello, mic test. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. I think I could hop on
that question, or that answer. I think during our time in Sisler Create, we do learn in actual classes, learn the pipeline with our amazing teacher, Mr. Leduc. We do learn the pipeline and how to navigate through that. And as well, we do learn our animating techniques in there as well. But for the more complicated things in the Toon Boom software, we kind of, or for at least Clementine, it was mostly self-taught. We didn't exactly learn like all the masking things. We kind of just like, ooh, we want it to look like this, but how do we do that? So we would just type it in the Toon Boom Learn site, and then yeah, we'd type it in the Toon Boom Learn site, and then we'd be like, oh, that's how you do the masking. So yeah, like I think that was probably one of our greatest assets as self-learning, well, semi-self-learning animators on Toon Boom. There's a lot of online tutorials everywhere, and they're really not like difficult to follow as long as you read everything. You can really do anything in Toon Boom.
I apologize if I made some of those complicated.
No, they weren't complicated at all. They helped us so much.
That's really nice to hear. Awesome.
You're also self-motivated. That's amazing that you just look it up and figure it out. Way to go.
Hey, Bobby, can I jump in with a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious. I mean, I kind of know this because I got, the inside scoop being part of Rise Up, but Carson Smith, I'm going to call you out. So Carson and Jamie and even Jemimah, how did you guys meet? Like, how did this happen? Because I don't know that people know that. Carson?
I mean, I'll start. I mean, it was so the sort of genesis of this happened. I'm not muted, am I? You guys can hear me, right?
We can hear you. Yeah.
I'm a Luddite. I'm sorry. So what happened is unrelated to this. We were wrapping up. The pandemic hit last year, and we were trying to figure out a way to finish up our mentorship program that we run in Los Angeles. And Bernard from Toon Boom graciously offered up 20 licenses so our kids at Burbank High School could go ahead and finish their films at home last year. So that happened. So Bernard did that, and then we started talking. And he just said, hey, there's these guys up in Canada. There's this guy named Jamie Leduc. And I was like, first of all, Jamie Leduc is like the greatest French gangster name I've ever heard of. It's like Bob La Flambert or one of those, like, I love French gangster movies. So I was like, okay. And so Jamie and I got on a call with Bernard, and we started talking. And then we had the opportunity. We have a program at Nick called the Best Field Trip Ever. And we had done one with a school in Central. And I thought, well, we've done one in LA. Let's do one internationally. So then that happened. And then Jamie just, I don't know if it was then or like the next call we had, he just sort of said, hey, you mind doing a mentorship program? And I was like, well, it's COVID. So sure, why not? I mean, we're sort of exploring like how to do all of these things, right? Remotely. And then at least from my standpoint, at that point, I said, cool. I reached out to Kyle and Jessica because I'm like, look, these are Canadians. These are your people. You guys need to help out. And they immediately said yes. And then when we met the kids, I'm like, oh, well, most of the kids are women and almost all the kids are Filipino. We should get some Filipinos on there. So I reached out to Mark and just said, hey, are you up for this? And then we started talking. I'm like, I kind of need a producer because as I've done this for years, I've realized that kids always get advice just to draw, write. But there needs to be somebody to say, dude, there's a schedule. And so that's how that kind of happened. And then I don't know. We just kind of, right, Jamie? I mean, I'll let Jamie speak to it as well, but we just kind of did it. It just kind of, it was organic and natural. And I think what was so amazing was that the first session we had, there was such exuberance from the Sisler kids. I mean, it was just like immediately like they were on board and they were involved and they were so happy to be there. And they were also so well prepared every step of the way. I mean, we would just see like breakdowns and all sorts of things. You don't even, you barely see it in TV animation. You were just like, wow, this is amazing. So I think that's just kind of how it started. And it was just, I don't know, Jamie, right? I think the timing was just perfect. Like,
I think because of COVID, it really allowed us to think outside the box. It actually forced us to think outside the box. And I'm so grateful that our friends at Toon Boom definitely put us in contact, because it didn't take long to convince each other that this was the right thing to do. And we just started right off the hop in September, and the students really gravitated towards the mentors and towards telling their story in a safe and caring and creative environment. And I don't think there's any way that we're going back to the old way of doing it. Like this is going to continue year after year, and this whole mentoring really, if we didn't have this Nick project, I don't think our students would have been as engaged as they were this year. And we really owe it to all the mentors and Carson, and because you guys were that one component that really that students look forward to seeing and meeting and talking with at the end of every month. And I think it really helped the students move through month by month by month, as we went from classroom to remote to completely code red, and then back to the classroom, and then back to code red. So yeah.
You know what? This is really like a big takeaway from this. What you're saying is like, it's great when people say yes, but you have to ask the question. So always just ask, right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, if somebody, all they can say is yes or no. And look, everybody was like, yeah, let's do this. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
I want to add that I don't think Jamie's ever had a tough time asking a question.
I know, but I was trying to, like, for everyone else out there that does.
follow this lead. But I also got to say, though, that to Jamie's point is that the takeaway from this has been really interesting, because we've always, at Nick, when we've had mentorship programs, we've always done them with single group, you know, like single students, and that's sort of auteur theory, you know, and that approach, and doing this in a team environment is really, really interesting, because one, it's the way that everybody works in animation anyway. But also, this sort of, the ability to do this in a remote manner has changed the way that we think as well. So, you know, this past year, our program in Los Angeles got expanded out to a bunch of schools within the LAUSD. And so a bunch of kids, because of COVID and because of remote learning, because of what we learned from Jamie, they got to be involved in their program much like this. So we've really learned a lot from one another. It's been a really kind of symbiotic relationship. So it's been a blast. I've enjoyed it, man. I got to say, like, it's just been really a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, same here.
Jamie, you know, with a whole bunch of viewers watching this right now, for those teachers that really want to develop a program similar to the I Create program, what would be the key, you know, 2 or 3 points that they should think about? Because this is a truly fantastic program, and you know, when you see the opportunities for young people to tell their stories, whether it's across Canada, US, around the world, what is the key way to start off a program like this?
Well, I think you need industry connections. Like once we started bringing industry into our classroom, I think the students feel like it's part of their learning, and the mentorship's huge. I think having the like being a teacher who's flexible and willing to allow the students to take chances and really push their own learning. Like Jemimah had mentioned earlier, like you get to a point where you teach, like I'll tell you right now, we have some students that are on the call as panelists that are in like grade 10 and grade 11. Their skill set is through the roof. And I don't think we as a staff can teach them anything more in the classroom. It's going to be up to them to actually go ahead and start learning how to learn. And that's really important. The importance of developing community. I'm a firm believer that the technology is not the most important thing. It's the like get rid of the computer desks, the towers, get laptops, get a nice open concept where students can actually communicate. That's so important, because community is what's going to keep the students engaged and feeling like they're part of something. So yeah, hope that answers it.
That's great. I love the bringing in industry professionals, and I got to speak to that for all you Nickelodeon mentors out there. If Jamie invites you in February, don't go. It's -42. It's freezing. He might promise you, he's going to promise you hockey tickets. It's going to be amazing. Ask him to go in the spring or the fall. Don't go in February.
Awesome. Our very own Frank Abney had a question.
Ooh,
yeah, it's kind of a two-part question. So first, I don't know if you touched on this at all. Maybe I missed it, but I was curious what the inspiration was for the stories, and also I wanted to know, like, what was your favorite part of the process? You get anything from building the layouts, the animation, and putting it all together and editing. Like what was yeah.
Yeah, so the inspiration for the stories first, that's great. I love that.
Come on, y'all.
Come on, Naya.
Yeah, I guess I can start. For our story, honestly, the story process for the Monarch Martians was a little tough. We did have 2 subgroups in the beginning, and both stories were great stories, but they both were lacking in aspects. So it was a little hard. And then after that first meeting for story, we had scheduled another one literally 5 days later. And within those 5 days, we either had to merge the 2 stories in some way or create a completely new one. And I remember, I think it was like right before, like the day before the meeting with Kyle, one of our group members, Ethan, he actually came with like a rough story idea for us. And we figured that the one thing that we wanted to keep from both stories was the aspect that we would be able to show like the Filipino culture. So with his rough, it just made a lot of sense to us. So like the main inspiration for it was obviously like using Filipino culture. So we did look into a lot of mythology. We had looked into the deities from like the original like Filipino mythology. And we had found one creature. It's called the Nuno Sapunso, which is what you see in the short. And we also figured another way to have everyone relate to it was we could make it about siblings. So all of us had either an older sibling or a younger sibling, and kind of like with Clementine, we all have those arguments, and we do find our siblings annoying at times. So I think that was like the main inspiration for us, just the siblings and the culture.
I just want to jump in real quick just to say, like, it was really cool to see when they had that first story meeting. There's 2 different ideas. And so it's tough, like, which way do you go with the stories? But there are aspects of both of them that worked really well. And the next time we had that meeting, how they kind of stripped what was really good from both ideas and brought it together and came up with this new story. And that happens in writers' rooms every day. Like, especially like in TV, when you're coming up with so many ideas all the time, you might have 4 pitches. And there's aspects of 2 that work really well. And then somehow they kind of weave into one great story. So it was cool to see that happen.
Nice.
Gab, what about yours?
Ooh, so the main inspiration behind Grim Companion is as when the story's like main writer, I've always been intrigued by juxtaposition. So like I always had the story of Grim Companion at the back of my mind, and I always wondered, what if you take something scary and emo like the Grim Reaper and make him interact with something as cute and lively as a puppy? And I just thought like it would really work as like a short film, especially with this opportunity, having to get critique from all the mentors and have it like really get it solidified. Like I really couldn't throw away that opportunity. So it was kind of like a similar situation to Monarch Martians, where we had 2 subgroups and both stories were really great. And then, but I was also helping out for one of them, but at the back of my mind, I was like, I really want to pitch Grim Companion also, you know? And so it was like a last ditch effort also, like the last couple of days, I was like, hey, can I pitch an extra story as well? And, you know, so on and so on. We pitched 3 stories instead of just 2, and we ended up with Grim Companion, which is what you guys saw.
That's great. Great. And Jemimah,
cool.
Are you still able to?
My camera is broken right now.
No problem.
So sorry.
No worries.
I don't know why it kind of just broke in the middle of earlier when I was talking.
No worries.
But for Eclipse, it was kind of similar with Monarch Martians, where everybody kind of had like, we're throwing out those what ifs in the beginning, usually when we're starting stories or from what we learned in class. We throw out what ifs to kind of get the ball rolling from what we learned from Sir Leduc. And we were throwing out this, and then this one specific what if caught our eye, and it was like, what if two girls like started throwing potions at each other and like they were both witches, and then we were like, you know what, we all collectively in a subgroup kind of was like, I like that because I like magic and I also have a sibling. Everybody was kind of into that cottagecore feel in our group. And as for developing the story further, there was kind of a lot of bumps just because the story didn't exactly like we had the basic kind of foundation for it, which was like two witch sisters, and they're kind of like bickering and arguing all the time because like sometimes siblings do that and sometimes siblings argue and sometimes the arguments can get super extreme and they got to find out how to figure it out together. But as the story phase went on, we were finding more and more bumps with the story. Originally, the two girls were supposed to be the main characters, but it was like way too hard to have like those individual character arcs in 3 minutes. So we had to chop it down. And then eventually we came to this, where Moon is kind of the main character. She feels a little overshadowed by her sibling. And a lot of people did jump in our group midway in second semester, and they kind of said like, oh, I don't really have a sibling, but I do know what it feels like to be overshadowed by somebody and want to surpass them, but you find that middle ground. And that's kind of what Eclipse came to be, finding that middle ground and finding yourself that, oh, with the help, instead of feeling jealous over somebody who seems to be overshadowing you, you gotta look at yourself and give yourself a little credit because, you got this too, and you're awesome too. So yeah, that's kind of what Eclipse evolved to be.
What a great message and great learning experience for all of you too. Being able to see that in 3 minutes, it really is hard to do two different arcs. Well done.
It's amazing you're even thinking of that. I mean, all these shorts have such an emotional core and relatability. Way to go. Way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we probably have time for one more question. What do you think, Bobby Seacrest, Pontius? Any more questions out there?
I'll check it back in with Paolo since he was high up on the list. Paolo, are you there? If not, what if he's talking and he didn't know his mic was muted and his video was muted?
He's been asking a 20-minute question.
Yeah. Well, I see he wrote in, may we hear Leduc's words, output. I'm not sure what that meant though.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. But let's see. Oh, Anita? Oh, wait. Oh, for Paolo. Paolo, if you're there, speak up. Or we can go on to, can we do two more?
Isabel's back. Isabel's back too.
Okay, Anita was next. Hi, Anita. Hello.
Hey, Anita. You're muted, Anita.
Oh, yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Hi, everyone. My main question, I mean, this is wonderful. This was great. Yes, I shed a lot of tears and I didn't have Kleenex, so I had to use the edge of my dress. So my main question is for Jamie. We talked earlier on in the year, and I remember you being kind of in a frazzled state just because of COVID, you know, and everything that you had to do and having to figure out how to make this all work, you know, remotely and all that. And I loved what you said earlier, that really this whole Nickelodeon project changed everything and really gave the kids motivation and focus. And that I can understand how it would have been really, really difficult for them to kind of hang in there through the year, if not for a project like this. What I'm really curious about is how you're feeling right now. Like, how are you emotionally? Are you really looking forward to the summer, or are you going to miss this, or what's going on in your head?
I don't. This has been a very trying year. It's been a very tough year for everybody. And again, like I mentioned before, having these partnerships with Nick and Rise Up Animation and Toon Boom and Wacom and the Schroeder Foundation, they really helped a lot by bringing people in and helping support us and supporting the students. So like, it's just amazing. Like, this has probably been the hardest year, but at the same time, it's been one of the most rewarding years because of these partnerships with mentors and these fabulous institutions. I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm really going to miss this group. Even though, like, some of the students, I don't even know what they look like except for when we do a video conference, because normally they don't even put on their screens, right? So we've definitely formed a very strong bond, and it's been a truly amazing experience with these students, and I wish them all the best after this year is done. And like Trent will tell you, I don't disappear easily. I'll be around. I'll be contacting you. So yeah, thank you, Anita.
You know what? And I got to add to that, because Jamie was actually in LA the week that COVID hit. I mean, Jamie, the day we got sent home from Disney, you and I were like sharing French fries at a bar, touching each other's faces. You and Bernard were down there. But it was a scary time. There was a lot of anxiety. And I remember, like, you guys left, and it was like a week later you texted me and you're like, hey, can we start planning some stuff? And, you know, I'm like, oh man, he got over that quick. And all that to say, Jamie, you always put students first, even with everything going on. You're like, how can we keep these students motivated? How can we figure out ways to keep everyone going? So kudos to you and your staff and everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, bravo to everyone. Well, it's 1 minute before we're supposed to end at 7 o'clock. It was an amazing program. Thank you all. We should do a picture. So anyone who can put on their camera that's not broken should. So Frank, come on back, because we're going to take a picture of everybody before we go. But do you want to do any final thank yous? Trent, Jamie, anyone? I mean,
you know what? I'll just throw out there really quick that just thank you for everyone that came today. Came to watch. Dairyl, great job co-hosting, amazing job, and thank you to all the leads, the mentors, Nickelodeon, everyone involved. Amazing job.
Hey guys, real quick, I see Sam is trying to ask a question here, and she's trying to call us out, I think, for
absolutely she is.
For continuity.
He was going to be the last one.
So much.
Sorry, Sam. Go
ahead. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you to the mentors for mentoring us for so long. But I just wanted to ask you guys if you would consider doing something like this again, since we only started doing this because of COVID. Well, yeah.
I bet they would.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is be a part of it. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. Absolutely do it again. And probably tell other people that we know around to take part as well. Try and get more people involved.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why we're doing this, is we want to show people how fulfilling it is, not only for the mentor. I mean, it is for the mentor fulfilling, but it's all about the students and seeing how amazing your work is. Like, it blows our minds, you know? So.
Yeah. Going through the experience, it's really making me consider like getting into teaching and kind of going down an education path, just because like it's like a rewarding feeling that I didn't realize I needed, you know, but it also feels really good to kind of give, because like when you're getting into animation and you learn all the tricks of the trade, eventually you do want to give it all back, you know, because it's like, I'm not going to hold all of these secrets and tricks for myself. Like So I don't know. It's like thinking about this whole program as a whole. Like, it's been really great. I would love to do something like this again. And yeah, definitely making me think about teaching and all that good stuff.
Hey, Mark, you can come up in February with Trent. We'll take care of that, and we'll do your teaching.
Yeah, send me a link, man. Let me know.
Mark, we're gonna go buy some winter jackets. Mark, we're gonna get some suits.
Yeah, I gotta prep myself for that.
That's Nickelodeon Marcus for us. You know, I just want to say that honestly, in about 4 minutes after we click off, Jamie's going to send an invite for like September 6th for like year 2. Like, you guys know that's just what happens, right? Right now, it's like, hey, so anyway,
that is no joke.
I got it ready to go.
But before that, everybody look at your cameras, smile. I'm going to count to 3. We're going to take a picture, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Nice. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'm seeing it's probably time for us to sign off, and you know, and I just saw something from Walter saying we cannot forget George, which is true. So I don't know if you want to say a word about that or not, Jamie.
Yeah, it's so in this students, it's been a very tough year, not just with COVID, but as you're aware, and you've probably seen in all of the short animations, each student did pay tribute to our fearless leader over, since 1980. He's been the principal of Sisler High School, and if it wasn't for him, I would never have come to Sisler. And he was always about kids first, and he always used to just say, like, Jamie, go ahead and do whatever you have to do to keep the kids engaged. And he made things happen, and he will be missed. And it's been a really tough year, and it's nice to see that Walter's on the call, because Walter as well, very supportive of our program over the years, and you've really made a difference in the lives of a lot of students. So yes, thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Amazing job. Great MCs. Oh, I couldn't be happier.
Amazing. That's such a good
Thank you, Rise Up.
Amazing work.
Yes, thank you, Rise Up, for doing this.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
great job, everybody.
Great team.
Okay, we'll be working for all you soon.
No joke.
No joke.
No joke at all.
Hire us.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, mentors. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.